What's going on, everyone? And welcome back to the Rambling Men Sports Podcast. I got my good buddy Steven on, and this is almost an emergency press conference because I know that you have some words you want to discuss. While my Boston Bruins are about to clinch a bid to the Stanley Cup final, your St. Louis Blues are in the Western Conference, and they got hosed the other night.
We got jobbed. So let's set the scene here. let's set the scene.
Let's set the scene here.
And I'm not even going to start with overtime. We're setting the scene. First period, San Jose jumps out to a 2-0 lead. They outplay us in the first period, but we hold it at 2. The second period gets underway. Who scored that first goal? Alexander Steen scores a goal, which our fourth line was huge last night. Our third and fourth line are probably our two most competitive lines right now. They're playing their butts off. I mean, the third line with Tyler Bozak, Pat Maroon, and Robert Thomas is kind of our it's kind of our mucker line. I mean, they just get in the corner and muck and get on the boards and be pests. And Pat Maroon is running around laying folks out. And Robert Thomas is 19 years old and is able to skate around everybody. And Tyler Bozak's got incredible senses and is able to pass the puck so well. And then our fourth line with Alexander Steen, and Barbashev and Oscar Sundqvist has been playing lights out, has been playing incredible. Oscar Sundqvist has gotten a couple of goals. Alexander Steen now has a couple of goals. Barbashev is really flying around. And so we get into the second period. Steen scores a goal. Vladimir Tarasenko finally gets in on it. He scores a goal. And then David Perron scores 2 goals in a row. We have a 4-goal period going into the third period, and we have a 4-3 lead. San Jose kind of gets one in the middle there. Third period, nothing happens. It's just kind of a muck fest until San Jose pulls a goalie. Logan Couture, who has been playing lights out. He's the best player in the postseason right now. I'm not too much of a homer to say that. He's playing lights out right now. He stuffs one in on a rebound on an empty net situation, 6-on-5, which sucks, but that type of thing happens, especially when there was an opportunity for Jaden Shorts to hit an empty netter from half ice from the red line, and he missed. And then Pietrangelo, our captain and probably our second best defender, iced the puck twice, and so we weren't able to get players off and get a change, which kind of stunk. But it kind of left those guys out to dry, and Couture puts it in, whatever. We had outplayed them for 3 periods, so I felt good going into the overtime. And then it was kind of even, and then it happens. San Jose scores, and I'm a relatively new hockey fan. I'll admit that.
I'm still waiting for some animation.
I
got last night.
I started watching hockey when I moved in with a buddy of mine who's going to be one of my groomsmen in college, and he's a big Red Wings fan, so we watched hockey a lot together, and I picked up the Blues because obviously I have the St. Louis connection with the Cardinals and with my dad's side of the family, and so I started rooting on the Blues, and that was around the time they were going to second, third rounds most every year and being really successful, just not being able to break through. So I've picked up and really started rooting on the Blues. So anyway, I mean it. They have the puck down in their end, and then they score, and immediately I noticed that Jordan Bennington's going ballistic. So I mean, and he's the only one that's doing it. So I'm like, okay, maybe it was a goalie interference. There was some action in front of the net. Maybe he felt like he got hit. So the referee just kind of shoos him away and okay, we're going to talk about it. And then they show a replay, and Timo Meyer, who's one of the wingers for San Jose, the play kind of broke down, and he ended up on his knees, and the puck was coming down at him, and that stupid sumbitch just swats it.
Oh, I thought that was it. Sorry.
What was it?
Carolina has an empty net.
He takes gloved hand, big black gloved hand, and just swats the damn thing. It completely changes direction, and it ends up on, I think it was Nyquist's stick. Nyquist makes a pass to Erik Karlsson, who's got a wide open net, and there's nothing Jordan Binnington can do. He still almost made a masterful save on it, but it ekes through, and immediately, like I said, Jordan Binnington goes nuts because he saw it, because he's watching the puck the whole time, and so they play like I said, I don't know the rules all that well. I mean, I've got a grasp on them now, but I don't understand, Shane.
Here we go. Finally, I've been waiting for this.
4 referees on the ice. 4. One of them is standing right behind the goal at that time. He is the one of the referees. The linesmen are out on the side. The other referees in the back. Well, head referee is standing right behind the goal.
Honestly, before last night, I couldn't tell you that there were 4 referees on the ice. I thought there were 3.
They're hope so. They're 4. Trust me, I know now. 4 referees on the ice. One no more than 5 feet from where the hand pass happens, and nobody sees it. I mean, you've been a hockey referee or a hockey player your entire life. You go into refereeing because you know the sport. How on God's green earth do you? And it was so blatant. It wasn't like he caught it and dropped it, and it kind of trickled out. He never even caught the puck. He just swatted it. And the literal rule reads: a player or goalie may not bat the puck in any direction. He must catch it and put it at his feet. Literal rule in the book of the NHL states that a player cannot bat the puck. So how, and like, if this happens in November or December, I don't think anybody really cares about it. But yeah. This is the conference finals in a game 3 when the series is tied. This is the biggest game of the year for both teams. I mean, both teams have played game sevens this year, but up until, other than that, this is the biggest game of the year for both teams. How do you screw that up so bad in the Western Conference Finals? They're the best.
I want to find the text from last night.
Well, I say they're the best of the best, but apparently they're the best referee in the NHL's already gotten booted out because he screwed up in the freaking San Jose Vegas series with that dog shit call. I mean, my God. That happens.
God.
They all meet together, and nobody can figure it out. So they were just like, well, shit, good goal. And then they skate off the damn ice. Jordan Binnington's about to beat somebody up. Braden Shin just about breaks the glass about 4 inches from old boy's head. I mean, people in Enterprise Center in St. Louis are chucking beers on the ice and throwing everything they can find. It is a damn zoo in there. And it should be. I mean, and then the most asinine part of this is that it's a non-reviewable play. The NHL can go back 15 passes and see if somebody was offsides 2.5 minutes of play ago, and see if their skate was a millimeter offside. And we can't review a hand pass that led to a goal 10 seconds later?
That is bullshit that there wasn't.
I mean,
that there can't be a review.
That is absolutely insane.
What's today? Thursday? I'm still trying to find your... Here we go, yeah.
Yeah, read them to me. I was riled up.
Last night, 10:55. I sent this at 10:55 p.m. Game of Thrones meme. Game of Thrones, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia crossover meme. The bell sounding Daenerys. Disregard that Drogon. It's just a bunch of liberal bullshit.
I don't listen to it. Don't worry about it.
I know, you don't watch it. 10 minutes later, William sends us a text saying, honestly, don't think it touched his hand. Within the minute, it absolutely touches his fucking hand with a period at the end. Gotta have the proper grammar. No matter what,
my text messages are always grammatically correct. Always.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You do always have periods.
Isabel Gannon taught me better.
That's the definition of a fucking hand pass. You're responding to William. You're the stupidest person alive. They've shown it, again, responding to William, they've shown it 4 fucking times, you moron. It was, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. I thought you said it was a obvious hand pass. That's grammatically incorrect, but you said it was as obvious a hand pass as you can get. A fucking goal should never have counted. At 12:21 a.m., you sent that. After the last text was at 11:09, so this was an hour and a half later.
Still stewing.
And I text at 12:21 saying, y'all, I forgot how good of a show Suits was.
Yeah, you're just oblivious to the whole situation.
I didn't watch the game. I didn't watch the game, and I forgot it was on, to tell you the truth. I'm still on a cloud with my Bruins. Then you send about 4 or 5 in a row here. They get a lucky bounce on a 6-on-5 to tie the game, and then get away with a blatant hand pass that leads to a game-winning goal. Not to mention Logan Couture, which you spelled wrong, is standing in the crease when he stuffs it in, which I know technically isn't against the rules, but Bennington has any wits about him. He draws a goalie interference there. And the NHL is just not even going to talk about, because they're a bunch of Canadian vagina men. I'm all riled up. That last one was at 12:28.
That was a damn good insult too.
12:28. William, I don't know how you can review a kick and goal but not a hand pass. And then I send the Brick Tamlin loud noises GIF.
Of course.
You send at 9:44. So I've had a full night's sleep to think about it and consider all sides of the situation, and all caps, and I still cannot fathom how 4 goddamn officials can be so fucking incompetent. This is the goddamn conference finals.
Spot the lie. Spot the lie.
That's about all you have. Hang on a sec. I got something coming here. I just got the alert.
Very good.
I'm on a 30-second delay. Damn, my brother and my dad are blowing me up. Come on, fucking NBC. Here we go. Brad fucking Marchand, baby. 4-0.
Is that empty netter?
What's that?
An empty netter?
Yeah, empty netter. They have had the goal empty for the last 4 minutes. But yeah, so I'm in complete agreement. I saw the replay. I can't remember if it was last night or today, and I was like, oh wow, that's bad. I don't know how they missed that.
I get sure, I'm a homer, and but you're not. You have an outsider's perspective of it, and this was the sentiment across hockey Twitter. I went deep into hockey Twitter at work today. I was it was bad.
Yeah, my boss wasn't at work today, so I got some stuff done, but not a ton.
Yeah, so I mean, but that was the sentiment across Twitter was the Blues just 100% got jobbed.
I saw Feidelberg tweet something about last night, and it was, I think, from the NHL's Twitter account, and it said, Erik Karlsson, gets his second goal of the night, Sharks win 2-1, and it, has the photo of the play or something, and then Feidelberg responded, you just know the person who sent this tweet shut their phone off.
Shut their phone off. Sent that tweet and then turn their phone off.
Turn their phone off.
I mean, like, this keeps happening in the playoffs, like, and the Sharks just seem to be benefiting from all of them. They get a dog shit 5 minute.
Guys.
They get a dog shit 5 minute major in Game 7. Game 7 of the Vegas series.
Was this 20? Oh, I was gonna say. I thought you were still talking about 2016.
Well,
I'm putting this on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's been like Vegas. I mean, San Jose's been getting it the entire playoffs.
Oh yeah, they've caught breaks.
They get a dog shit 5 minute major in the.
Yeah, I've heard about
Game
this.
7 of the Vegas
I didn't
series.
watch it, but I saw they were down 3-0, and I had the game on anyway. And then they got a 5-minute power play, and I was like, oh, okay, this could be interesting. And then they got a goal. I was like, okay. And then they got a second goal, which I don't know how it works with the major.
But you have to serve the major. You
have to serve all 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not like a minor. Okay.
No.
That's why I was curious. But yeah, I think they got all 3 goals on that major, I'm pretty sure.
4, I think.
Maybe 4. Possibly 4.
Maybe
I know they tied it up, for sure. I thought it was a second power play, honestly. Maybe they got the 4th on a second power play. Like, it was almost...
Maybe that's right.
Yeah, it felt like 7 minutes of a power play.
Like, that completely changed the game. Like, the officials had a more of an outcome on that game than they should ever have in any, especially in a Game 7 in the playoffs. Like, and then they
hang on, buddy. I got to do this.
You go for it. Yeah, figured.
I'm gonna. You listen to the Irish music and like it. Hey, Tuukka Rask is good. Go Bruins! All right, I'm done.
The city of Boston is having quite a sports year.
They are. Unfortunately, the Celtics blew it.
Yeah, they stink. Well, Kyrie blew it, really.
Yeah, Kyrie blew it.
He stinks.
But continue.
It's just, I'm just so
sad.
sad.
As you said before the show, this is two. Honestly, this would be a great segment into Game of Thrones talk. This is two sides of the same coin. Playoff hockey.
It really, yeah.
You are the sad part. I am the happy part of playoff hockey right now, like the Targaryen madness and greatness.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like this could not have been a better segue.
So you got any more thoughts, or would you like to segue?
I'll just we said it before the podcast. Like we were talking, they will either lose in 5 games, come out and just and shit the bed tomorrow, and go to San Jose and get beat, or they will come out with a fire under their ass, playing pissed off hockey but in control, and win that series in 6. Like I have no doubt in my mind that those are the only 2 outcomes left now. Like how they come out tomorrow, I would even say how they come out first period tomorrow is going to dictate the rest of the series. If they come out and play super aggressive, play the style that they have been playing, because we've been playing really good hockey, play under control, there's no reason that we can't get right back in the series and win it in 6 or 7. Like, I don't see any reason why that wouldn't happen. But if they come out, play pissed off, but out of control, just angry, looking to hit somebody, taking dumb penalties, doing stupid shit, like, they'll get beat tomorrow and then get beat on Sunday in game 5. Like, there's no other options. So, first period tomorrow, bank it, Shane, will determine the rest of the series.
Sorry, I'm tweeting.
Hey, tweet away.
I'm tweeting everything. I'm happy. I just want the world to know that Tuukka Rask is good.
Tuukka Rask is good.
All right. Trying to think of anything else I need to do. I know I need to put it all over the place. But yeah, I'm actually gonna agree with you. How they come out tomorrow night's gonna be big, and there's no reason why they can't come out with all sorts of fire. They got the motivation now. I'll be shocked. I mean, St. Louis is a well-run team. They got leadership. I'll be shocked if that series isn't 2-2 heading back to San Jose after tomorrow night.
Sincerely hope so, Shane.
So, the other elephant in the room we got to talk about, now that we're done with hockey, I am watching my Boston Bruins host the Eastern Conference Championship as we are going to the Stanley Cup Final. But although before I do that, before I move on, who do you think, we got to talk a little bit about those Stanley Cup, who do you think wins it all?
San Jose comes out of the West. I think that Boston wins it. If the Blues come out of the West, I think we win it. Like,
is that just bias? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure we'll make it.
Yeah, it's biased. Like,
if our two teams are facing off, I'm not sure we'll make it.
We might not. Like yeah, it's biased, but I mean, we're in the conference finals. Like, there's no reason that if we make it to the Cup, we can't win it.
Oh yeah, I mean, especially if they win like 3 in a row. Boston has a week of layoff. Yeah, I won't be shocked at all.
I mean, like, I think we have the D to compete with the Pasta, Bergie, Marchand line. Like, you got to be physical with those guys, I feel like. And our D and even our wingers and centers are really physical from blue line to goal line. They're really physical in the defensive end. I feel like I said, I feel like that's kind of what you have to be against because I mean, I don't know much about the Bruins, but most of the production comes from that line, I would guess, right?
I mean, yeah, but this postseason, I think I posted to y'all. Last I checked, there have been 19 different goal scorers for Boston this postseason.
Yeah.
Every line is contributing. They're not banking on the top line. They're not banking on, some third or fourth line guys that have gotten hot. It started off that way, but since Columbus, like, everybody's been contributing. So, I don't know.
But, like, I feel like we played so well against San Jose's top line yesterday for 59 minutes, and then Couture stuffs one in on a rebound. Like, Colton Parayko shut Logan Couture down. Like, he had one shot attempt going into the empty net situation. Like, I mean, and like I said, I feel like that's kind of what you have to do against Pasta and Bergie and Marchand. Like, just be physical with them. Like, they're gonna, like, Marchand's a little shithead pest, but, like,
hey, you watch your mouth, sir.
I'm not saying it's like, that's his game. Like, he's pesty.
No, I know he's a shithead. But I love the guy.
Yeah, I mean, we got a guy like that. That's Patrick Maroon. He's just
if you got a dude like that on your team, like, you love him, but you hate him.
If he's on your team, you love him.
Yeah.
If he's not on your team, you hate him. I mean, we got guys like that. Braden Shin's kind of like that. Patrick Maroon's definitely like that. It's like I said. I mean, it would depend on how our D shuts down that top line, kind of like we're doing against San Jose right now. But we got a long way to go. So
that they do. You want to just talk about baseball? I want to save Game of Thrones for last.
Yeah.
So
baseball will be quick.
Baseball talk. We're a month into the season. Any surprises so far?
I mean, let's check the standings. Why not?
I honestly haven't even checked the standings. My brother told me today, I think that Minnesota had the best record in baseball, and I was shocked.
They did have the best, record percentage-wise in the league for a while. They don't anymore.
Okay.
I believe that is either the Dodgers or the Astros now. I think it's the Astros.
The Cubs are 20. They're 10 games above 500. Dodgers are 13 games above 500. The Tampa Bay Rays are 11 games, who we both picked to make the playoffs. The Twins are 12 games above 500, and the Astros are 14 games above 500. So I would say it's the Astros right now.
Yeah, I think it's the Astros. But for a long time, the Twins came out just scorching.
Yeah.
Getting production from all over the place. And getting guys. Jose Barrios is really throwing the ball well.
For me, that's probably the biggest surprise because
I would definitely say the Twins in the lead. But like we talked about in the preseason, the Indians aren't going to be that dominant team this year.
Yeah,
we both picked them to win.
Yeah,
but they're kind of coming back to everybody. So,
the gap is closing in that division.
And I would guess that the Twins have probably played the White Sox, the Tigers, and the Dodgers and the Royals a good bit already. And I mean, you get a chance to kind of beat up on those teams that are just god awful.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking advantage of it, which you got to do. So I would say there's two sides. The two sides of the coin is it's surprising how good the Twins are, and I'm really honestly surprised at how bad the Marlins are. Because, boy, are they bad. They have won 10 games.
Oh, shit, they're that bad?
41 games into the season.
I haven't paid attention. I mean, it's playoff hockey time, man. I haven't been paying attention.
They got this horrible new logo, these horrible new...
I actually like their new look. Like, it's kind of a combination of the old black and teal look that I love, and the new thing they came out with when they were the Miami Marlins. They added the orange and the black, or they were always black, but like orange and yellow and all those other nasty colors. It's kind of like a combination of both.
I don't like it, but
yeah, they're 10-31. I would say easily the worst record in baseball. By a mile.
By a lot.
By a mile. I'll tell you what, man.
The Diamondbacks are playing pretty good ball relative to what we expected.
Yeah, they're 4 games above 500.
4 games over right now. Will it? There's little chance that they maintain that, but they're playing decent ball right now. I think in terms of like individual performances, Christian Yelich is a god among mere mortals right now. He started off as hot as anybody has ever started off. He kind of cooled down a little bit, and then last night hit 2 homers. So it's May 16th, and he has 18 home runs. And let's see how many RBIs he has. On May 16th, he has 18 home runs and only 38 RBIs. It's not as many as I thought it was going to be.
Who is this?
Christian Yelich.
Oh, no, he started on fire. I remember he hit 13 home runs in April, right?
Yeah.
Maybe more?
Like, absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
Like I said, he kind of cooled off a little bit, but still an absolutely torrid pace. Cody Bellinger for the Dodgers is absolutely ripping the cover off the ball.
Yeah, him too. Them two, like, they're already talking, like, who should win an MVP? I'm like, it's been a month. It's been a month.
It's a month in. Had a pretty, Mike Fiers threw in a no-hitter last week. That's pretty cool.
I'm pretty sure. Who does he play for? The Brewers?
Oakland A's.
A's, yeah. I'm pretty sure that was against the Reds.
Yeah, it was against the Reds. Yeah.
Because I woke up and I was like, oh, damn, they threw a no-hitter.
Oh, God. Yeah, because it was out on the West Coast. Yeah, so it was.
So I wasn't too happy about that, but my Reds, they're doing so well in run differential, yet a losing record because they got a shit for a manager.
Because nobody can throw the ball for them.
No, because their manager sucks. According to my brother, the pitching's been decent.
Has it?
It's been okay. I mean, it's better than what it usually is. But David Bell's a shit manager.
He was, he was the bench coach for the Cardinals for a long time.
I think we got him from the Giants.
Did he come from the Giants?
I thought so. I thought he was like a pitching coach or something.
I know he was a bench coach for St. Louis for a while.
Maybe that's why we fucking got him. Probably why. Oh, he was the bench coach in St. Louis. We hate the Cardinals.
Yeah, let's
poach one of the. It's like what the Minnesota Vikings used to do with Green Bay. Let's poach one of their guys. See if he's any good.
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, it's actually like pretty chalky right now, for real. It's
the Red Sox have got off to a really cold start, but I believe since then have turned on.
They have kind of turned it on as of late, but they are, they're hanging around. The Rays leading the division right now is a bit of a surprise. But like we said, they're a sneaky good ball club. So
yeah, I mean they have young talent. They got some veterans. They got a Cy Young pitcher. They're pretty good, and I just wasn't sure about their manager, depth, maybe too much young talent, rotation after
Snell.
Snell and Morton is kind of iffy. But they've been really good, man. They're such a well-run organization for like the last 10 years.
They are like for a small market team, they really do, and it sucks because nobody goes to their game.
Tropicana's a dump. Like I think a few days ago I saw that the lights went out in the dome, and someone on Barstool said it's time to hang up Tropicana.
Yeah, just move them to Nashville or Charlotte or.
They had a stadium made, or they had a stadium set up, and I think the city shut it down. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think they were going to come across the bay into
That's where they should be. They shouldn't be in St. Petersburg, probably because the traffic's so bad, the crowd can't get out there.
Yeah, I mean,
it's ridiculous. And I don't like any ideas of moving them. Because baseball should be in Florida. I mean, it's a stone's throw from Orlando. That's spring training almost.
It's such a travesty that probably the two least attended major league teams are in the state of Florida, which is mind-boggling.
No one. I think Tampa. When Tampa was good, like when Joe Madden was there, they packed that place in pretty good. I think they care. They just don't like Tropicana now. And it's out of the way. No one cares about the Marlins.
No.
No one cares about the Marlins.
They stink.
And that stadium's really nice. At least it seems like it, but...
Brand new.
Yeah, brand new, but they can't fill it up. No one cares. And they paid I don't know how many millions or billions of dollars for it, and the taxpayers didn't want it to begin with.
Yeah, it's kind of like the stadium out in Atlanta. Like, Atlanta's having some attendance problems.
Because that's a bitch. We both know that area. That's a bitch to get out there.
It's so hard to get out to freaking Marietta.
That's worse than probably getting to St. Petersburg from Tampa.
Dang it, where that stadium is. There's no good way to get there.
One of our family friends lives in Atlanta. We asked him, how's the new ballpark? And he said, I've never been. I'm not going out there.
Atlanta's already miserable to deal with.
It's gotten way too. It's like Nashville, except Nashville's not quite as big, but Atlanta's way too big. And
it's so big.
There's way too many people, not enough space.
And they just won't they're just building shit on top of everything else. Like they won't build outward because they've already got that 285 loop, and they're just building everything inside that 285 loop. Whatever. I'm not gonna live there.
I haven't been to Atlanta in about 5 years, but
I couldn't do it.
I remember we just drove down because it was when West Virginia played Alabama. We just drove down like the day of from, I think somewhere in South Carolina. Stopped at wherever one of the MARTA stops is, and just took the train into the city.
Yeah. We used to do that from Auburn. We would go to so coming from Auburn, like the first thing you get to in Atlanta is the airport. It's down in southeast Atlanta. So we would just stop at the airport MARTA station and take it all the way into the city and go to we were going to Braves games when it was at Turner Field or football games.
I got a buddy in grad school who says Turner Field was a dump. Not a dump. He said it was in a dumpy part of town.
Oh, it was in a horrible part of town.
Really?
It was in South Atlanta.
I always thought it was a nice part of town, but I was a kid.
It was in South Atlanta. Like you didn't venture far from Turner Field. Like it was not.
That's a shame. I mean, that was a really nice ballpark.
It was. I mean, and it was less. It was 20. Like right at 20 years old when they
both
that new stadium.
The Falcons and the Braves built new stadiums when they really didn't need one. I know the Georgia Dome has been around a while, but the Georgia Dome's really nice, or was really nice.
So I like the Georgia. I mean, you get up in the stratosphere, you can't see all that well, but
I haven't been to the new one. Maybe maybe next year when West Virginia's down there, but
it's like the Georgia Dome, but nicer.
Just nicer.
Yeah, I've gotten lucky and gotten good seats to the 2 football games I've been to. So I haven't been up in the upper deck, but I did sit in the upper deck for the Garth Brooks concert I went to there, which was I don't care. I could have been on Mars and seen him live.
Hammered drunk, listening to.
Oh shit. NASCAR drunk.
Oh, that's something I could talk about. I went to Bristol Motor Speedway last month. That was more fun than I thought it would be.
Peeling your sunburn from it. No?
Oh yeah, I was peeling.
Yeah, so I was up pretty high for that, and for this for a concert setup, they weren't great seats, but Garth is kind of different because he does this circular stage instead of the regular rectangle stage kind of in the corner. So he sits it right in the middle. Essentially, the middle of his stage is the 50-yard line, and it kind of spreads out from there.
Yeah.
And he runs around like a maniac. So, they weren't great seats, but I didn't care.
Nothing like talking about Atlanta stadiums and Garth Brooks to wrap up baseball.
Yep.
All right.
How we do, Shane. We just get off on.
We do. We get way off topic.
Yeah.
But so we got to talk about one more thing, and that is Game of Thrones.
We do.
It is coming to an end this weekend, this Sunday, and then it's going to be gone.
Series finale. It hadn't quite hit me yet.
It's hit me. I mean, this whole week, I've been sad, man. And people ask me, what do you think of what do you think of Sunday? And I don't really know how to respond. It's not because they're like, oh, you hated it, didn't you? I'm like, no, I really liked Sunday's episode. I'm just bummed that it's over now. But let's talk about that. How have you taken the final season?
I've liked it.
Yeah, so have I.
I don't know. There are all these people online and everybody talking about how much they hate this season. I don't get it. I really liked it. I understand that it's a little bit rushed and things are happening quicker than they normally did, but I went in knowing that was going to be the case.
Right? Yeah, we knew it was 6 episodes.
6 episodes. Things are going to be at a
First
faster
3, like they
pace.
divided it. The first 3 was about the dead. Second half was about defeating Cersei. Like it's just about perfect.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've had no problem with it. I've really enjoyed it. I mean, like,
don't get me wrong. Like I've had my issues with the final season.
Yeah, I have too. But overall, like I've really enjoyed it.
It wasn't anything like I couldn't look past.
Right.
My 2 biggest issues. Yeah, 2 biggest issues. One was Arya killing the Night King.
I knew you were going to say that.
And
I
think we have different takes on this because you don't hate it as much as I do. Not even hate it.
I don't know. I liked it a lot.
I don't.
Because like I know that you're like a avid Jon Snow support.
In a lot of ways, yes, I love him.
You live and die for Aegon Targaryen.
I will bend the knee right now.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong. Like I love Jon Snow. He's not my favorite character. I think we've had this discussion before. My favorite character's been dead for 4 seasons. 5 seasons.
Robb Stark?
Yeah, Robb is my favorite character.
You said 5. I almost went with Stannis Baratheon.
And that's almost more because of the books than the show. But anyway, I really like that storyline where Arya kind of.
I will say I love the memes from this season. It's like
they've been incredible.
Fantastic. But some of the best ones have been Arya talking about like how her back is hurting from carrying the final season. And that is funny. That is funny. But I love Arya and love her to death, but it shouldn't have been her.
You're in the it should have been Jon.
It should have been Jon. They've hinted at it for years. And I get your side of things where we talked about this a little bit. You said how Azor Ahai prophecy technically doesn't say he's going to kill the Night King / the Great Other, as it's told in the books.
That part of it.
It just says he will lead the fight against the army of the dead.
And that's not me saying I don't think Jon Snow is. That's not me saying I don't think Jon Snow is Prince of His Promise, Azor Ahai.
Right.
He's obviously that still means that I think that he is.
Yes.
But it means that I don't think that it necessarily meant that he was he had to kill the Night King.
Right. No. Yeah, I follow you.
I think it once you kind of look at it, there is some room for for other people to do it. And then I also really liked the correlation of, and they've kind of hit on a lot of season 1 callbacks this year.
Especially the very first episode. The series premiere. Or I'm sorry, the season premiere.
Was big on callbacks. And then episode 3 kind of a little bit was especially with the interaction that Arya and Melisandre had. Yeah. There were some callbacks, So I thought.
But again, that whole thing about you're gonna shut blue eyes and brown eyes. That doesn't happen in the books, and they brought it out of the blue because again, great segue because the Night King has blue eyes.
Yeah, I mean, and on that note, I've kind of grown to understand that the books and the show are going to be different. There are certain things that the show can't do that the books can do. There are certain things that the show can do that the books can't do.
I will say this. I talked about this with Chaz, who was on, I think, last time we were together, about how the show has. I've said they've wiped their ass with a lot of stuff. It's not so much that. I think they are wrapping it up in ways that best fits the show.
Yeah,
the whole Arya thing. They tied in Beric Dondarrion, why he's been brought back from the dead 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
Jamie wanting to die in the arms of the woman he loves, which is my second gripe of this final season was Jamie's death.
Yeah, that whole sequence did kind of I had problems with that one too.
That one bothers me because literally I'll let Arya slide. But Jamie, they've been building Jamie to have this massive. We talked about this massive character change. His character arc is one of the most fascinating in the story. He gets to Winterfell and he's like a totally completely different man. And I said okay, this is he's come full circle. He came to Winterfell. He was a douchebag, arrogant douchebag. He's back at Winterfell as a humble, honorable cripple. A good man. And after the Army of the Dead, he fucks Brienne and then says, "I'm gonna go be with Cersei." Now, and don't get me wrong, I'm not a fan of the Brienne and Jaime romance either, because that's not really in the books either. They've kind of just threw that in.
Yeah, that was more.
And then
he
just drops everything at the drop of a hat.
That's a product of the two actors being so working so well together.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's not really like that in the books. There's a connection, but it's not romantic.
No, it's really not. Yeah, I had a problem with the biggest thing I have a problem with. I think in this season is they have kind of wiped their ass with prophecy.
Yes.
Prophecy used to mean something.
Yes.
And they have kind of wiped their ass with that. Like the Azor Ahai thing. While I'm not as
and to be fair, I think I mentioned this. To be fair, they technically didn't screw up either. Like you said with Azor Ahai, it doesn't say Azor Ahai Reborn is going to kill the Great Other, and it doesn't really say. Well, it does a little bit, but all the Valonqar we know for sure says is that he will kill Cersei. Technically, Jaime did lead Cersei to her death, so Jon did lead the living against the dead. So technically, they fall in, but they both butchered it.
Yeah, not anywhere near what we expected it to be. And I think that's been a big problem too. I'm we waited so long for this season, and I think
part of the problem is everyone's expectations were too high.
To build expectations, yeah. So I think taking this season with kind of that understanding as well, would help. Obviously, that's not how the internet works.
No, I didn't expect anything different than season 7. And I thought season 7 was incredibly overrated. They hyped that thing up, and I was let down with that. And then they started this with season 8, and I'm like, it's not going to be much different than season 7, probably.
Not really. I mean,
It's not that it was going to let me down, just I was like, they only have so much money because it's a TV show.
Yeah.
And, it's going to be great, I'm sure, and it has been, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been as good as what I thought it would be. Probably not, but I'm not, been out of shape about it.
No,
there
are
not. Two big things that have bothered me. Arya and Jaime. That's about it. Cersei, I could have gone for her having a better death.
Yeah, that did feel a little underwhelming.
Yeah.
I guess is the best way to put that.
But I saw someone say this on Twitter.
Take the other side of it. You look at the irony of she was killed, cowering in the basement of what she always the building that she always wanted. She wanted to rule.
I was just about to say that, and I saw someone on Twitter say she was crumbled by everything her family had built.
Yeah.
Everything Tywin and her family had built came crumbling down upon her.
Right on, literally on top. Right?
Yeah, I was like, that. Okay, I can. That's fine.
It's.
Oh.
Like I said, I'm not as. I liked it. Like I said, it wasn't overwhelming, but.
I wish we would have gotten the Valonqar prophecy. I wish Jaime would have killed her.
So yeah,
assuming
I wish
it was Jaime.
Like a satisfying villain death,
yes.
Like a Joffrey or a Ramsay. that they've had in the past. Like the past two villain deaths haven't really like. The Night King was unsatisfying in kind of a different way.
I thought you were gonna say Littlefinger.
No, Littlefinger was totally satisfying.
Yeah, I agree. Like Littlefinger got his throat cut, and I was like, I'm fine with that. Like he was a talker. He got his throat cut. I like that.
I think we've talked about this before. I really like Littlefinger's the way that thing all played out.
Yeah.
But like I said,
Yeah, the Night King was. I thought for sure. I think we both had the same opinion. I thought for sure they were losing that battle.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the way it was going down, just mid battle. I was like, there's no way. If they lose this battle, there's no way they're getting out of it alive. Just the way it was working out. And I just remember texting my brother about it, and he was like, he said, actually, he hadn't seen Avengers yet, and he said, Bren's gonna have to go back in time and fix this. And I said, this ain't Avengers. I was like, what do you think this is? This ain't Avengers? And he hadn't seen it yet, and he was kind of like, wow, man, thanks for ruining that.
Come on, we already knew.
We knew it was going to be time travel. But, yeah, that was underwhelming.
I just don't understand, like, there's, like, legit outrage for the season.
And I don't
get it. Like, I've really enjoyed the season.
Everyone I've talked to, one of my good friends in grad school, has been on the train that this season's overrated. He hasn't said it sucked necessarily, but he's teetered between sucked and
rated episodes.
I know, and I don't think he's quite there, but he's teetered between it's sucked and it's been overrated. But when I talked to him the other day, I said, "Where would you rank it?" And he said, "It's not the worst, but lower tier." And I said, "I would agree with that, probably." It's not a top of the 8 seasons. It's not a top 4 season.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean,
it's about middle of the pack. That's what I told him. It's like 4 or 5, probably 5.
I don't even know where mine would rank. I mean, yeah, it's probably 4th or 5th, probably behind season 5, season 1, season 3 for me.
I think season 5 is the worst one, just because season 4 was so great and they followed it up with season 5, and it just wasn't as good. That's why it gets hate from me.
Like season 5,
But so let's talk about the other big twist of this past episode, which we both really liked. Was Daenerys becoming the villain.
She went Mad Queen, and
I will say this right now, Steven, if anyone is listening to this, because I think we both saw it coming, if you didn't see it coming, you haven't been paying attention.
No, because while I understand that, like, she, like, for a long time, she was the opposite breaker of chains, like, freer of slaves. Like, she went around Essos touting that she was going to do all of this good. She came across the 7 Kingdoms, like one of her key lines from last season was, I'm not here to be Queen of the Ashes.
Yep.
But as things started to play out, it was pretty obvious that she was going to lose it, and sure enough,
last
she did.
Season for sure. I didn't really catch on. Everyone had the same opinion, and there's been a great meme floating around of that Pikachu shocked face, and it was her saying, like, season 2, like, I'm gonna give fire and blood. Yes, Queen. Then I'm gonna do this or whatever. I'll burn cities to the ground or whatever. Yes, Queen. And then she actually does it, and then it shows the Pikachu shocked face.
Yeah.
And that's the way everyone else was, but for me, it happened last season. I remember she got to Dragonstone at the end of episode 1, so we didn't see anything. But the beginning of episode 2, I remember her just being a bitch to Varys, questioning his loyalty right off the bat, and I was kind of like, okay, this is different. But she's got reason to do it. They still
tried to paint her as like the...
They set the groundwork for it in last season.
Yeah. Like, they tried to throw you off the scent with, like, the benevolent ruler, where she, abandoned her quest to take on Cersei, and she went and helped Jon and did all
this. They sprinkled in some good things, like she killed the Tarleys. even though I think we all thought it was wrong, she had a point. Like, it was kind of all this whole, she had a point. And then, but then even looking back, because I know leading up to this episode, or like the, what do you call it, like previews on Game of Thrones, whatever, they quoted that line, I think Cersei says it, is every time the Targaryens flip a coin, or I'm sorry, every time the gods give a
every time the Targaryen is born, the gods flip a coin, yeah.
And Varys says, I'm still not sure which side of the coin hers has landed. And even just looking back, her entire character arc went back and forth between tyrant and savior.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she would save the innocent. We'd be like, yeah, she's so great. She'd be such a great queen. And then she would burn, but she had a point with it. She would burn people who disobeyed her. But she had a point. And then finally it just snapped and her coin flipped to madness.
I mean, from the very beginning, people have kind of been nostalgic about Dany. Like, to birth her dragon, she killed Mirri Maz Duur.
Yeah.
Like,
but again, like, she had a point.
To get her dragons back in Karth, she burned old boy and Krasnik, I think was his name, and then killed her handmaiden and the Zaranzoa Doxus. Like,
yep. But again, she had a point. Like, she had a point for all this, but she did act.
But, like, still.
And that is something I will say that Samuel Tarley pointed to this season is like how he says, like, she executed my father and brother. And Jon kind of defended her and said, I've executed men who disobeyed me. And he said, well, but you've also spared them. She's never really done that.
Except for with Jorah. I mean.
Yeah, Jorah's the exception, yeah.
Like, Jorah's the exception, but.
Jorah's different, though. He was close to her.
Yeah. One exception is not, does not make her.
I can't get over how many people are truly shocked by this.
Yeah, like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like,
this has been. I remember texting my cousin about this, and she saw it last year. Like, and she loves Daenerys. Like, Daenerys was her favorite character.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, I think this bitch is going crazy.
Yeah.
And she said, I completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, this was 2 years ago, and she said, I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the framework has been being laid for a long time. It took Jorah dying and her
once she was pushed to the edge,
her losing another dragon and Missandei dying and all of these things happening, and then she gets to King's Landing, just absolutely murks all the Scorpions and Euron Greyjoy and the Greyjoy fleet. And
there was a great photo that I saw this week of when she arrives at that Dragonstone room with the table of Westeros. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And like, she's got all these supporters: Tyrion, Varys, the Tyrells, the Martells, Greyjoys. They're all in there and supporting her. And then it showed the last episode when it's just her.
It's just her and Tyrion, yeah.
Yeah. And they were like, you got to feel bad. I'm like, I don't feel bad, but like...
particularly feel bad for him. I mean...
Like this is the reality.
Yeah, I mean, this is war. Like, these things happen. Olenna Tyrell was killed by the enemy. The Sand Snakes, they were killed by the enemy. Theon Greyjoy was killed by the other enemy. Like, these things happen. But it doesn't help that Dany, like, since that point, has been kind of a lunatic.
Yeah.
Like, just lost it. And
I saw someone say, again, the same take we have. She is a book reader, and she said something along the lines of, if you didn't see it coming, like same thing, you haven't been paying attention. The only thing that irks me about last night's episode is Jaime. And she says, we will never forget you, Valonqar. And I said, amen, sister. We will not forget you.
I think, and like I said, I think all of this goes totally different in the books.
I think so too. I've said that for the last few weeks. I think it's going to be completely different. I think I wouldn't expect Arya to kill the Night King in the books. I don't think so. I wouldn't expect it to happen. If there even is a Night King, we don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
He hasn't really made an appearance. I think he will, but it'll be the great other.
Eventually, yeah.
I think it's going to be Jon Snow that leads that fight. I hope, at least. If not, I can live with it, but I'm really hoping it is.
Let's hope.
And then I'm going to imagine Jaime is going to kill Cersei.
Yeah.
By the way, the scene between Jaime and Tyrion, when Tyrion set him free, and I called that, by the way.
You did?
I did call that. I said Tyrion was going to repay the debt and set Jaime free. It just wasn't at the time I thought it would be, but I still called it. Still counts. I called that 5 years ago.
Still counts.
Still counts. But I love that scene. Just heartbreaking. Like, not heart. No, it is heartbreaking. But
it was emotional. Which this whole episode was kind of like, it was emotional. It wasn't like it was a spectacle.
Oh, we haven't even talked about Clegane Bowl.
I figured we'd get to that.
Okay.
It was a spectacle, but it was not like a Battle of the Bastards or Battle of Winterfell. Like, just outright battle spectacle. Like, it was emotional.
I mean, even Battle of Winterfell, as much as I really love that episode, it doesn't even hold a candle to Battle of the Bastards.
No, it doesn't. And you know,
and a lot of it just felt forced. I don't remember if I talked about this with you or not. It felt, as for the length of the battle, felt forced.
Yeah, and that's a consequence of not having as much time to flesh out a plot line. Like, season 6, they had 10 episodes, and they could flesh out a plot line starting in. I mean, they started fleshing that out in episode 3 when Sansa and Jon reunited. Episode 4, whenever that was.
Yeah.
So, you know, I mean, like I said, that's a consequence of that. But, this episode was more centered around the emotions around the battle than the battle.
Yeah, I mean, the point of view was
like that. It was
the citizens, really.
It just all over the place. Which I thought awesome.
It was mostly told, I thought, through the citizens, and it wasn't really a battle; it was a massacre. I just remember thinking, middle of the battle, like, she wiped out the Iron Fleet in 2 seconds, and I thought, okay, well, that they're obviously going to win this, and then they storm King's Landing, and then I just remember thinking, this is happening too fast. And I remember texting my brother. I said, something's happening here. Either Cersei's got something up her sleeve, or something big's going to happen. And sure enough, something big happened.
I heard a pretty interesting correlation. Like, the dragons are like the Westerosi equivalent to. I mean, they're like a nuke. Like, Dany just hadn't unleashed it yet.
Yeah.
She finally does, and it's mass carnage.
Yeah.
Using it right, using it as it's supposed to be used. I mean, it's a weapon of mass destruction.
You're 100% right about that.
So, you know, take that as you may. But yeah, it was next. I don't see a way that she survives next episode. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, and I was just about to ask you what your thoughts were for next episode. Or do you want to talk about Clegane Bowl first?
Yeah, let's do Clegane Bowl real quick.
Yeah.
I was totally.
That was the highlight of the episode, probably.
I really liked it. Yeah, I loved it.
That was one. I saw a great meme of the Monday after, and of course, you know, everyone hates this season except for, I feel like, the ones with brains. But someone said it was like the Game of Thrones writers, despite how shitty the season have been, after last night's episode, and it showed the Professor Hulk from Endgame, the moment he shouts time travel, like time travel, like when something bad happened, but they found out they could do time travel. It was kind of like that, but it was Professor Hulk yelling Clegane Bowl. And I thought, okay, that's pretty good.
Gave it to us. I mean, like, you know, we had to wait 4.5 episodes for it, but they finally gave it to us, and it was great. I mean, I really liked it. The way that it played out.
Like, I loved the moment between him and Arya before it happened. And then when she calls him Sandor. I was like, oh man, it's happening.
It was one of those, like,
it humanized him. Everyone calls him the Hound.
It was emotional, like kind of within the framework of a battle or a massacre, like, and that was kind of what I thought this whole episode was kind of centered around. Was yes, there's a battle, yes, there's a massacre going on, but they kind of shot it from the certain POVs of the characters and the citizens, like to capture the emotions.
Particularly, I mean, like Jon, Arya. I mean, even Daenerys.
Jon, Arya, Dany, Sansa.
Sansa wasn't in the episode,
Cersei. Tyrion, Davos a little bit, the Hound a little bit.
I love the moment when
citizens.
The Hound confronts Cersei and the Mountain. Says your grace, and then like she just kind of scurries away.
Yeah,
and I was like, just run, man, run, baby. He doesn't care about you.
You must protect your queen, and then he just like looks at her, and then the four dudes rush Sandor, and he just immediately chops him in half. Like, he just flicks him off like a flea. And then Qyburn says something stupid and witty, and the Mountain just smashes his head in.
I was like, oh shit, it's happening.
That was kind of funny. And then Cersei, and I saw something where Cersei was like, it was like the scene is like it was like a still of like when she started to like just kind of scurry away, and she was like, well, okay, you boys have fun.
Yeah, it was like, pardon me, I'm just gonna fuck off real quick.
I'm just gonna get the fuck out of here as quickly as possible.
Something like that. Yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, I mean, like I said,
also death by fire for Sandor Clegane. I loved it.
Yeah, I as that was playing out, I was screaming like, "You've got to burn him!" Like he kept stabbing him and stabbing him. He got him in the freaking face, and I'm like, this is going to end with Sandor's going to either have to face his fear and burn his brother, or he's got to go out with him, going into the fire, and that's what he did. And great form tackle. I mean,
speaking of fire, by the way, it was a great form tackle. Speaking of fire, by the way, I want to mention that you called Varys death by dragonfire. You didn't necessarily call it. You said, "Here's what could happen," which is basically a call.
Well, yeah, this is what
we were both in agreement that he was going to die, and you were like, "Well, how do you think?" I don't know, maybe beheaded, and you said, "Death by dragonfire." I was like, I like that.
Kind of stab in the dark.
Yeah, I like that.
It does kind of come full circle though, because I mean, they made a point to mention, and this is kind of bigger in the books, but when he was cut, they threw it on a fire, and like he's kind of been wary of fire ever since. He's not like full blown Hound.
Yeah,
doesn't like fire, but you know, he's not its biggest fan in the world.
I thought you were gonna mention in the scene in season 7 when he's talking to Tyrion about when he would advise the Mad King, and he said something along the lines of like when he would burn his victims, he would say, "I'm not the one doing it." You know, when he would cut a person's tongue out, "I am not the one doing it," and then the last one was obviously fire. He, burn his victims alive. "I am not the one doing it," and here he was being burned alive by the Mad King's daughter.
Yeah, I mean, and like his kind of speech there on the beach, like, "I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope I deserve this."
He wasn't wrong.
He wasn't wrong, and he didn't deserve. Like, I mean, he had his reason, and it was right.
He's always, and my friend Chaz asked me what I thought of Varys. And I said, I've never disliked Varys. I do think he has good intentions and he wants what's best for the realm, but he is Bronn-esque to where he will do whatever it takes to save himself.
He's schemy.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the same way. Like, I didn't dislike Varys. I think he was calculating and manipulative at times, and like always kind of had like a parachute, if you will, like to kind of parachute out of a situation if he needed to.
And he always did it to where he could save himself at the same time.
Yeah, so I liked it. I mean, it was a good end to his character.
Mm-hmm.
And Conleth Hill, I think, did a masterful job of playing him.
Yep.
As have obviously a majority of the Game of Thrones cast, but him specifically, kind of as a, like I said, like a schemer, manipulation, kind of conniver, that type of character. It was great. I liked it, and I liked the way that his story ended.
I agree. So let's look. I don't want to admit it's over, but let's go to this Sunday's episode, to where it is hinting, and see if you agree with my analogy, to where it is a Dark Knight Rises scenario where we have one person in charge of a frightened city, and basically the people within that city have to rally and beat her. That person being Daenerys, and it looks like Jon Snow is Batman.
Yeah. I mean, it's setting, obviously, there's no telling kind of what will happen. It's setting up that way, though. I certainly hope that, we haven't seen the last of Sansa and all the people in the north.
Yes.
Pod and Brienne and Lord Royce and all of those people in the north,
I hope we get, at least one more scene with those characters. Let me see what they're doing, before this.
I'm positive that we will.
I am too.
There's no possible.
And we better get fucking Ghost back. What if he shows up in King's Landing? Ooh, I just thought about that.
That'd be cool.
And helps Jon kill Daenerys.
That'd be cool. Like Tormund,
or distracts Drogon or something.
Like one of the scrolls that Varys was writing was going to Winterfell, and Sansa and Tormund and Sam and everybody.
That's really good.
Paul asked King's Landing, and that'd be cool.
That would be cool. So, what do you think happens?
That'd be cool. Like I said, I don't see a way that Dany survives this episode.
Yeah.
The problem is, she probably has the military advantage over Jon and the North and the Vale right now.
Unless this new Prince of Dorne shows up.
Yeah, I mean, unless the Greyjoy, Yara shows up.
I forgot about her, yeah.
And is on, and, here's what happened, and is like, fuck this bitch.
Yeah. Which I think the majority of Westeros is going to do.
Crazy crowd out of here. Or Dorne. Like you said, the new Prince of Dorne, or Gendry rallies what's left of the Stormlands and brings them. I don't see how Jon could have the military advantage over her.
But he does kind of have her trust to where he can get her in a room alone.
Yeah, he can. There's two people that have. There's one of two people is going to kill. Well,
I'll say three.
I say three. With a fourth that's kind of a wild card that I'll get to in a second. Jon obviously being one.
Yes.
I think Arya being two is pretty obvious. Kind of your wild cards being Bronn. I think Bronn may be a kind of a wild card if he kind of meets up with Tyrion, and Tyrion's just
my guess was Tyrion. That was my third.
Tyrion was my other one as well. Bronn kind of a wild card, and then I've got a crazy wild card that I'll get to in a second.
I think those are your top three choices because I can't remember if I was talking about this with you or my friend Chaz. But in the books, again, being a purist, I'm going by prophecy, and I believe Daenerys still has one more betrayal left in the books.
Yeah.
Once for blood, once for gold and wants for love. Wants for blood is obvious as Miri Mazdur, unless something else happens. Wants for gold, I think, is Sir Jorah Mormont.
Yeah.
And then love, I don't believe has happened yet. And I think you could be looking at Jon,
yeah.
Arya, or Tyrion.
Yeah, that would for.
Now again, they haven't talked about that, but
no, they haven't. And like I said, they have kind of wiped their ass with prophecy this season.
But I'm tying it into the books too, and
yeah, so that would make more sense, kind of on the book side. It makes a lot of sense on the book side, actually.
Yeah. But one idea Chaz had was that, like, maybe Jon still hasn't had his, like, he's obviously seen what she can do, and obviously he is scared, but maybe, like what Vera said, like, she just bends into her control for a little bit of the episode until what Chaz predicted was she threatens to go north and
burn
the whole north, and, like, that just sets Jon over the top. And I was like, that's actually a really good prediction.
I hadn't thought about that. Like,
he kills her for the love of the North.
Yeah.
And obviously his family.
His family, yeah. For the safety of his family.
Yep.
Which I could totally see.
I could 100% see it. And then, like, for Tyrion, you could argue if she hadn't burned the city alive, Jaime would still be alive. So, like, he kills her for his love of Jaime. For Arya, same thing. If she threatens the North, maybe. Or maybe, love of Sandor Clegane. I don't know.
No, but
yeah, love of the North, probably. Or, like, if she kills Jon. Or that's the other scenario. If she kills Jon, she kills Daenerys because she's, of her love for Jon. Or, vice versa, if Arya dies, Jon kills her for his love of his sister.
Yeah. There's so many. There's so many ways that this could turn out. Like, I genuinely don't know. I think I know how I want it to end. Like,
well, let's hear that.
Yeah. So, I think I want it to be kind of along Jon's, and I've kind of come off of what I originally thought. Since this has happened, it's setting up to where Jon once again kind of has to reluctantly accept power.
Yeah.
He's never wanted power, but he's been given it so many times because he's been the best choice.
Yeah.
And once again, he's the best choice for this position. Like, he's there's nobody else that would. He's the best choice. And so I think, like I said, I don't know how it plays out, but Dany dies in some form or fashion.
I was just about to say those exact words.
Yeah. My weird, like, out there theory is that she tries to flame Jon, and Jon is unburnt, and then he turns it on her, but doesn't try to flame her. He has Drogon eat her, or like
I had
or something.
A similar thought. I think Arya is going to try to kill Daenerys, will be unsuccessful, and it's death by dragonfire for Arya. I think Drogon will burn her. Jon, being overcome with grief, will then kill Daenerys. Drogon, seeing his mother die, will try to burn Jon, and Jon will be the unburnt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, I don't know if that'll happen because he's already been burnt once. And, like, they kind of showed it. So maybe, unless they wipe their ass with it.
That was early, like season 1 early.
Yeah.
And, so, I mean, I get it, like, we'll see. I don't know. Like I said, that is kind of an out there theory for me.
I would love to see it, though.
Oh, it'd be super.
One idea that Chaz came up with that I really like is him giving up the throne, like him finally having the life he wanted, which is him giving up the throne, giving it to I don't know who, Gendry maybe. Your prediction? Gendry. Tyrion or Gendry. Him choosing to go beyond the wall and just living like a simple life with the wildlings.
Yeah.
I think that's what he wants. I don't think he's going to get it, though.
They kind of hinted at that being a possibility with the conversation that he had with Tormund. Like, you've got the North in you, the true North. You'd be happy up there. Like they've kind of hinted that that's something that, and John was like, I wish I could. Like,
and there's just something I like about the true heir to the throne basically living in exile.
Yeah.
He's done. He's done with this life and just wants to be alone. Something I like about that. I don't know.
He's literally given everything he has to. Yep.
Or if he dies, I'll be happy with that because he was cheated from death already.
Mm-hmm.
But
I just don't like. I don't want to see Dany on the throne. I don't particularly care.
If
my prediction of Gendry comes true, like at the end of the episode, Gendry is the king of the Seven Kingdoms. I will freak out and tell everybody from here to eternity that I have been right the whole time because I have. And
you're gonna be on your deathbed with your wife and your grandkids and your great grandkids surrounding you. You're gonna call us into your hospital room, and then your last words will be, "I correctly predicted Gendry to take the Iron Throne.
I was right." And then Sarah will hit me. You piece of shit.
Beep. We're like, well, he's gone, but he was right.
Damn it, he was right. Yeah, I mean, there's just so many, like I said, that's kind of what I want, but I'm not going to go in with expectations of that's what's going to happen. Like, I'm going in totally clean slate.
Yeah, you said you're done with predictions for the most part.
Yeah, I'm going to enjoy this until the books come out. I'm going to enjoy this. So
I've said that to people. I've pulled a dad on these people who hate the final season. I've just been like, look, Sunday's it.
Yeah.
This time next year, you're going to be like, hey, I kind of miss Game of Thrones. So you got 2 days left of this, or what? 3 days left. This is it.
2-ish.
Yeah. After Sunday, it is no more, and you're not going to have it again until the prequel, which I guarantee you won't be nearly as good. So
it'll still be good.
Just suck it up and enjoy it.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah. I'm totally in that boat.
Yeah.
Because
this is like my all-time favorite TV show.
Nothing.
And it's coming to an end, and I'm just trying to enjoy. I'm trying to enjoy it.
Yeah. But you're bitching. Just enjoy it.
What I would love is if Jon just took a hiatus. He will take the throne eventually, but he wants 10 years of exile.
He wants a sabbatical.
A sabbatical. Can I just get 10 years of peace and quiet?
Just hang out for a while.
Finds a beautiful redhead wildling woman like Ygritte. Maybe finds a way to bring her back from the dead. I don't know, because I don't think he wants Dany back from the dead.
He burned her, though.
True.
And
that's true. He did. You're right. Okay, well, find an Ygritte 2.0 and just bang the shit out of her. Have his child and him and his wildling wife return to King's Landing and then become...
And Gendry gives him his throne back.
Yes. You serve until I come back. I would love that. I wouldn't have a problem with that. So, what do you... what... Are you kind of on the same... what do you think will happen? I pretty much told you already. I think Arya is going to overstep her grounds. Probably kill, Grey Worm. And then we need a face swap.
Yeah, we have to get... That's another one of the things that I want to, I want to know how, all of these other storylines end. The Faceless Man storyline, the Greyjoy kind of storyline, there's other, we haven't, what's going on in River Run? That was
we were told Edmure Tully was going to show up, and he hasn't yet. So maybe it's this episode. Maybe that's one of the armies that comes down and tries to take King's Landing back from Daenerys.
Maybe, but like there's a lot of storylines that haven't really wrapped up. Like they wrapped up a good bit last episode.
Mm-hmm.
They wrapped up Cersei. They wrapped up the Cleganes. They wrapped up.
In fact, I think that's where we could be heading with this.
A lot, yeah.
Is a like Mad King parallel to where she's on her throne, but an army is at the gate. A combined Greyjoy army and all the these ravens that Varys possibly sent out. The Greyjoys turn on her. Like let's pretend that Yara Greyjoy turns on her. The Stark, any more Northmen come down. The Tullys come down. Yeah. The Aarons come down. The new Prince of Dorne shows up, and there's a huge army at her gate. And like Jon has to be the Queen Slayer this time. Like Jon is like the Jaime.
Yeah, I can totally see that.
Yeah, I think that's the parallel we might get.
Yeah, like there's just so many ways. Like there's so many ways this could go. Like. That's why I don't want to. That's why I like I'm with you. I'm done with predictions. I'm just gonna sit back, watch it, and enjoy it. I'll probably be hungover as hell. My bachelor party's this weekend. So.
Oh shit! And I wasn't invited.
No, you weren't invited.
I couldn't come anyway.
It's gonna be small. Like it's just me and my groomsmen. But it'll be fun. So I'll be I'm not gonna go in with expectations. I'm not gonna go in like hoping something happens. I'm just gonna go in and I'm just gonna watch it and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Not be pissed off.
I'm gonna go ahead and predict that we're gonna get a Robert's Rebellion kind of parallel in the final episode. Arya tries to overstep her her grounds. I think she'll kill Gendry. Not Gendry, I'm sorry, Grey Worm. Take his face swap, do a face swap. Try to kill Daenerys, Drogon burns her. Jon then with the big army at the gate has to kill Daenerys, like because she's threatening to burn even more of King's Landing and the rest of the army because there's no scorpions, they can't kill the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
And then Drogon, Jon kills her. Drogon tries to kill Jon, can't do it. So then Jon maybe kills Drogon. I don't know. I don't see any of the dragons living though. And then that's basically it. I don't know how to predict the rest. I'm gonna let that work itself out. But that's my general gist.
I am still like under the impression that the last scene of the episode, will be Sam the storyteller. I
really hope so. That would be a great, and I hope it's like set in like
be a really good ending.
20, 30 years in the future.
Yeah. He's got either Maester's chains or
just old, like Hornhill with Gilly. Yeah.
Gilly and their kid,
their bastard
kids, however many kids they got now, and I think that'd be really cool as like a.
And I want him to write a Song of Ice. I hope the title of the episode is A Song of Ice and Fire. If it's not, I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, I agree. That's yeah.
Because the titles this season have been underwhelming since episode 3.
Yeah.
The Long Night, I'm like, that's fucking badass. And then it was The Last of the Starks. Okay, that didn't make a ton of sense.
Spells was kind of cool.
Then the Bells, I'm like, okay, that's all right. I can live with that.
It's all right.
And
first one was Winterfell.
Yeah, that was cool. I'm fine with that because it's all about everyone coming back to Winterfell. Then a Night of the Seven Kingdoms, I was like, okay, I can live with that. That was cool with Brienne, and then The Long Night, and then The Last of the Starks. I was like, really? So I really hope it's A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah, I think because I don't think they've used that yet, right?
No.
Okay.
Or like the prince that was promised or something. I don't know.
Yeah. But I think A Song of Ice and Fire is but I mean, they've been, this season we won't know until a couple hours after the episode airs anyway.
I know. But I hope that that's the last scene we get is like 20 years into the future, 20, 30 years into the future. Sam's writing it out. He hasn't come up with a title yet. And like Gilly comes up and says, "What's the title of your book, Sam?" and he just writes A Song of Ice and Fire. I
That was
don't know.
awful
Oh,
accent,
I know, but
god awful.
oh, I know. I tried to do it like halfway through, and then I was like, nah, it ain't
It's like,
working.
that's
So I
just-
went back to my American.
All
All right, so that's
like
it for me.
Yeah.
I will announce that I have Sunday off. I have cleared it with work.
Hallelujah.
I need the day off to adjust
Mentally
to this
prepare
day.
yourself, yeah.
Yep, prepare myself. I'm gonna go drive down to Chaz, and we were going to watch it together because I got him hooked on the show. We theorize about it almost every single day. It feels fitting that I watch it with him. And then we're talking about doing a live show, and during the final episode. So I think we're gonna do it. Just depends on his schedule. But yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna start at like 2 or 3 hours in advance and just theorize, talk about the final season, stuff like that. Then watch it. Then obviously recap it all, the whole show and the last season, the last episode, and it's gonna be heartbreaking. I might cry.
You probably will. Big baby.
You will probably cry. I almost cried with Jamie and Tyrion last week. And
Yeah,
I've
maybe.
watched that scene like 5 or 6 times since then. Like, it really tugs at my heartstrings.
I haven't done rewatches at all this season,
You haven't
which is kind of weird.
rewatched
I'm gonna
any of the episodes?
rewatch the season in like the next few weeks.
No, like once the episode's aired, I watch it again. Then I
Yeah.
finish my work. I go home. I watch it again. I watch it at least 3 times the same night.
I haven't. I used to do that. I haven't this season, which has been kind of weird.
I watch the behind the episode, whatever it's called, and
Yeah.
I always watch that. But you got anything else, man? I'm done.
No, I don't. I'm like I said, no expectations. Just enjoy the show.
Exactly. Just enjoy it. You got 3 days and it's over, people. I'm looking at the people here. Just enjoy it.
Well,
Don't
accept
bitch. Just by the way, don't sign the petition. You're not going to get anything done.
no, that's just a waste of time.
Yeah, exactly. All right, my man. I will let you go.
Hey, brother.
You got work tomorrow, I'm sure.
Half day.
Half day. I got to go into work, but not until the afternoon, so I do get to sleep then. I'm going to enjoy my Bruins here for the rest of the evening.
Have some fun. Celebrate your Bruins. We will root on the Blues with me, and maybe we'll meet in the finals.
I'll cheer on the Blues. Why not?
Yeah, attaboy.
All right, my man. See ya.
All right, bro. Take it easy.
Yep.
Thanks.